Want me to introduce myself?
Sorry. This is Rebecca Yardley. She is the second vice chairman for the 9th Congressional District Republican Party. She currently lives in Athens.
No, I work in Athens.
Oh, she works in Athens. She lives in White County. So she had a long drive over here this evening.
Well, it is my honor and my pleasure to be here with you guys this evening to moderate this event. Mr. Davis, I believe you got the first question.
Yes, ma'am.
The first question is, do you feel that public service, such as fire and police, are properly funded?
Without being able to go in and look at budgeted items clearly and concisely, I've talked with the chief, I've talked with the fire chief, and they tell me that they seem to be okay. I think that's one of the most important facets of offering services to the citizens is fire protection and police protection. I think anything that you can do at any time when they come to you and they have a request, you sit down and you talk about it and you go over it and you see what you can and can't do. And I do know that I feel like that the budget, looking at the overall figure, that I think it's low. I think we can do things that can bring in more revenue to help out overall, just in every facet of the city operations. But now, based upon my talks with the two chiefs, they seem to be satisfied at that point. So I would say, yes, ma'am, we're adequately funded at this time.
Okay. Mr. Mayor.
And I would say they're definitely adequately funded. There's always improvements that could be made. There could, the fire chief is constantly wanting a new fire truck, but it's on a regular basis, and we understand that. And I know that the chief of police would like more new cars each year. But there are limits to what we can do as a mayor and city council, and we have to stay within those limits and without overtaxing the population and the businesses. And so it's a balancing act, but we have excellent equipment in both departments, and I think that's evidenced with the fire department by the fact that we've lowered the ISO from a 7 to a 3 since we started that fire department. So, and the police department's functioning very well. So they're well respected around the state.
The next question goes to Mayor Boyle first. Do the arts and festivals have a positive or negative impact on our community as a whole?
The arts,
Do the arts and the festivals have a positive or negative impact on our community as a whole?
oh, they definitely have a positive impact on the community, especially the festivals that are held. I mean, they bring a tremendous amount of people into the city, into the county as well. And it doesn't just benefit the city of Ellijay, it benefits East Ellijay through their motels, through the sales that take place at their retail stores over there. It benefits the counties greatly. It brings people to the community who probably, there are some in this room, came here for a festival and liked it and wound up buying property and moving here. And it gets you known, I won't say worldwide, but possibly nationwide. When I was traveling more, it was hard to go anywhere that you didn't run into someone who had heard of Ellijay and knew about the apples here. It's put Ellijay on the map, and that's just speaking of the one festival, the Apple Festival, but that festival has gotten us known all over the United States. So I'm sure I haven't used up 3 minutes, but as I say, definitely the arts, and I'll say not just the arts as in art, but music as well. I mean, it all has positive impact.
Mr. Davis.
you know, I talked with some people about this festival, and I think our festival, it's 45 years, something like that. I've got a picture where Bill Miller with the Apple Queen from the very first Apple Festival hanging in my business. And, but I talked with some people this festival around, and I do think that the festivals are positive. I think anything that you can put on in the city is positive. One of the, when I was talking with these people, they were talking about it, and there was a lady and her 2 kids, and she went down, and of course she came to downtown too, and then she took the bus down, and she talked about she had to pay $5 to park. And then when we got down to the festival, it was $5 each to get into the door. And then they went and they got something to eat, and they got a hamburger, and it was $12.
Oh, rank the timekeeper who's on top of things. Mr. Davis, this question will be for you first. Would you support better utilization and expansion of Harrison Park, and how?
When Walmart came in, they came and talked with the leaders here in the county and the 2 governments, and they said if we got tax breaks, we'd move Walmart into Gilmer County. And all the officials said, sure, we'd like to have you. And when Walmart came in and they built over there where Ingles is now, and and please excuse me, people, I'm scared to death. And I am. But, you know, they came in, and when they did come in, you started seeing Ellijay go to the 4-lane, because that's where the money was. And, you know, that dwindled down into Ellijay, and you just, over the years, you kept seeing it deteriorate and deteriorate and deteriorate to the point to where, you know, people were clamoring for, you know, what can we do? And we've got to, with Harrison Park, Ellijay has no identity, folks. We have nothing. East Ellijay, Easttown, what I call it, they've got the 4-lane and all the retail that's offers, but we don't. And we've got the river, which is the greatest natural resource that any town in North Georgia can use. You know, Helen's the only other place that has that. And I believe we need to utilize that, and one of the things I'd like to do, I'd like to take Harrison Park in its phase 1. I'd like to do a lit, paved, multi-purpose walking path along the river from Harrison Park down to River Street, and that being phase 1. And phase 2, I'd like to take it from River Street down to the forks of the river, and then cut up the Cartacay River over to the Easttown Bridge. And then phase 3, I'd like to see from Harrison Park go north along the river, just as far as the citizens would let you go. And it's something that would be attractive to the people. You can, and also when you take and you put this path in and you get down to Sailor's Drive, I'd really like to see the bridge at Sailor's Drive completed where we can connect South Main and Sailor's Drive, and that just opened up everything. Harrison Park is there for everyone to use, but if we did this walking path, it's something, it would take time. It's a plan that all the citizens could get behind and set and be able to, everybody work together and make this the world-class city that Ellijay can be, and we can be that. And that's just one thing that we can do. That the Sailors.
Those 3 minutes go by awful fast, don't they?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Hoyle.
And I'm not scared like Jerry, but I am hot. If there's these lights are hot. But anyway.
That's why they call it the hot seat.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with Jerry at all on the need for a river walk. It's been something that's been discussed for years. It's a little off the Harrison Park. As far as Harrison Park development, we are working towards developing it further. I have someone writing a grant as we speak. We're working on it now. It's a recreational trails grant that's available through the Department of Natural Resources. It's the same grant we got to build the current trail, but this one will allow you to actually build facilities. And you can apply for up to $100,000. It's 20% match. And as I say, we're writing that now, and our hopes are good that we will receive that grant and we'll be able to construct restrooms down there and possibly pavilions and get moving in the direction for more use.
Mayor Boyle, this next question is for you. Do you think that the Heritage Day Festival was a success?
The Heritage Day Festival held at Harrison Park. It was a success. I think it's something we needed to continue and build on. That was a festival put on by the Better Hometown program, which we've taken the Better Hometown program and rolled it into the Downtown Development Authority. And I think the Heritage Days Festival may have gotten forgotten in the transfer. But I think it's something that we do need to continue. I think it could turn into a really big festival, and I think even possibly as big as the Apple Festival, if it were promoted. And you've got 26 acre site over there, and it could be a second festival that we could have during the year to bring in people, bring in taxes. Again, it's a fundraiser, use the money to help develop the park. So I may not use 3 minutes.
And gentlemen, you don't have to use the 3 minutes. If you don't use all the 3 minutes, it means we get more questions. Mr. Davis.
I think any festival that you put on is good for the community, and I really do. With your first year, you've got, you kinks you work out, I mean, everything, but if you keep hosting it and doing it, you know, things just get better, so long as you have the correct people in place to run the festival. I'd like to be known as the town with a festival every month. I'd like to see the wagon train come back. We used to have a very nice bluegrass festival. I'd like to see that. You know, anything that we can put on that will attract people to our town, then I'm all for it.
Mr. Davis, your question is, how have you prepared for this service opportunity?
I prayed a lot. You know, I can do this job. I know in my heart I can. I'm not a slick talker, but you know, this means a lot to me, and I really think that deep in my heart I can do this. I also know that it's just not me, that it takes the citizens of the city of Ellijay to step up to the plate and let's put this in the correct direction that we need to go. And I believe that. And I'm not saying we're going in a bad direction. I'm just saying I have ideas, and I'm willing to bring people on board, and people that are willing to give their time to the service to the citizens of Ellijay. And now this is not just Ellijay, it's the whole county, but we're the county seat, and this is where we work. This is where we promote. You know, our you know, like our Gilmer Chamber does a great, fantastic job, but I think we need not an Ellijay Chamber of Commerce, but we need something to promote just Ellijay, and we need to do that ourselves. So yes,
Mr. Hoyle.
Will you repeat the question?
That would be my pleasure. The question was, how have you prepared for this service opportunity?
When I first took office, I realized how little I knew about local government. I've taken every class almost that was available through the University of Georgia, the Carl Vinson Institute, and I continue to take classes. You never stop learning. There's always new programs out there. I try, one thing I besides the education, I try to listen to my constituents. I try to listen to what they want. I feel like all government officials should be responsive to the needs of the local citizens. That's very important to me. I think we've lost that in a lot of levels of government, but I hope we never lose it at this level. Local government, especially city government, is as close as you get. It's as close as the government gets to people. And it's where change can actually occur between the local elected officials and the citizens.
Mayor Boyle, you get this next question. What do you think is the greatest challenge currently facing Ellijay?
Currently facing Ellijay, probably the greatest challenge is financial. While you watch the news and you listen to the media around the world and they're saying that we're out of this financial crisis, I don't feel we're totally out of the woods on the financial crisis yet. The economic indicators are still not back where they need to be. There's the chance, we do our budget, we've already done our budget for this year, the council and I have. And there's a good chance that we could slip back into a slight recession, and a lot of our revenues are based on sales tax. So you slip back down into that next year, you plan for X amount of services, you've set your millage rate, so your property taxes are set. There's nowhere to go, there's no magic wand to go and raise that money back, and it puts you in a financial shortfall. That's the thing I fear probably most at the current time, is the unknown certainty of the finances.
Mr. Davis?
The best thing that we can do for the city of Ellijay is to bring businesses back. And that's what we need to concentrate on doing. And right now, when people walk around downtown Ellijay and they look, and you know, I told my wife I wanted to be very positive in all this. And but you know, when you walk around downtown Ellijay, you see buildings in disrepair, you see homes in disrepair, and that drives property values down. If we could develop a little bit of pride and ownership, and people fixing up what they have, then that will increase property values, and I think that's the best thing that we can do. And you go, well, now what do you do to bring businesses in? And I mean, like, you know, an example is
All right, Mr. Davis, this next question is for you. How will the new Joint Economic Development Authority affect the attraction of businesses?
How will the Joint Development Authority attract business? Well, that's the whole problem that we have right now. Nobody's got a real solution to it. You know, getting back to the previous question, which is to me is tied into it, is you know, you've got to put the appropriate people. You've got to have a round table. You know, Ellijay doesn't need to count on the Joint Development Authority to develop Ellijay. Ellijay has to develop Ellijay, and it's got to come from internally. And if you have different people and different ideas, and that's what it's going to take. That's one of the things on the joint development. But if you're on joint development for North Georgia, that really has nothing to do. I mean, what we need to do is we need to do a feasibility study to have people come in and help us to identify what Ellijay needs, and that's what we need to do. The joint development, it's a fine thing. I guess it is. I'm really not familiar with it, and I don't really understand what it is that they're going to do. The only thing I know that us as citizens, we're the ones that have to take charge of this and not count on people from out of county telling us what we need to do. We need to, again, as citizens, come together and decide which direction we want to go. And the University of Georgia's got a fine program, then it wouldn't cost us a dime to have them people come over here and look at what we've got, what we offer, and then sit down and, young minds have new ideas. And let them come over and say, look, here's some ideas that would allow us to make plans. And then once citizens see plans in place, citizens will get behind that, because that's something for them to shoot for. And that's what we want. We want all of the citizens to come in. You have a stupid idea? Great, I have a stupid idea. Well, let's all just come up with ideas, and at some point in time, it's all going to click and it'll pay off. And I believe that. Joint Development Authority is, for me, I can't count on them I can count on their ideas, but, really, are we at their interest? And I don't know that.
Mayoral.
The Joint Development Authority was formed. It's the Gilmer County, Ellijay, and East Ellijay Joint Development Authority. I think it is the best economic development tool we have working for us at this time. We have just hired Chuck Scragg. I serve on the Joint Development Authority. We've just hired Chuck Scragg, who's probably one of the most knowledgeable men in the state of Georgia as far as economic development goes. We are working towards developing the program at this time, identifying our resources, coming up with a marketing plan for Ellijay, East Ellijay, and Gilmer County. It will take a while to get through those steps. Once we do, Chuck Scragg has the contacts. He will bring businesses to Ellijay. He will at least bring prospects here, and I think at that point we will have a very good chance of getting some of those prospects. So I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think we're fortunate that the two cities and the county could work together to form this.
All right, Mayor Coyle, the next question is for you. Looking back over the last 4 years, what would you have done differently?
And I don't want to sound like I haven't made any mistakes, because there's obviously things we've done, but there's not a tremendous amount I would have changed over the past 4 years. As I said before, I've tried to connect with the citizens. I've tried to listen to their needs and respond to their needs. I listen to the business owners downtown, and we try to respond to their needs as best we can. We support the police department, we've supported the fire department. We've tried to keep the budget in an affordable form. I mean, we've tried to keep it so, and we've done this not just over the past 4 years, and I say we because it's the city council and the mayor. It's not just the mayor that does things, but we've continually lowered property taxes, again, not just the past 4 years, but for the past 18 years. We've gone from a 6.75 millage rate to a 3.4 something's what it'll be next year. We've almost cut it in half. I don't have a lot of regrets over the past 4 years. I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and I don't think I can come up with one single thing that I would change.
Mr. Davis.
You have to ask yourself if today, if you were better off than you were 4 years ago. And then you have to take that back even further, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And if you do look 15, 20 years ago, I mean, in my eyes, we're no better now. I mean, yes, we have better police protection. And yes, we do have a fire department. Yes, our ISO rating has gone down, but the citizens of Ellijay are taxed twice on their fire department. They pay a county tax, and now they pay a local tax. Now, that doesn't mean get rid of the local fire department, but you do have to ask yourself, and if you've been here long enough, my family was part of the 1850 census, and my grandparents lived right up here on Broad Street. My grandmother owned a cafe right on the corner where the podiatrist was.
Mr. Davis. allocation of extra funds to support the efforts of the DDA on similar to the boardwalk project.
Would I support additional funds? You know, the DDA is an organization that is similar to what a chamber offers you, but unlike a chamber can't go for grants or anything like that, where a DDA can. So the door is a little bit wider open for the DDA. And I think that comes with just putting strong business-minded people on the DDA. The boardwalk, I wasn't for the boardwalk to begin with. It's done. I support it now. I mean, it's done. But you know, I was always of the thought that you know, business owners needed to improve their own storefronts. You take TJ there at the corner. You know, she spent a whole lot of money making her place real pretty, and I don't think it's. Now, I believe that the city should come in and help all that it can. The boardwalk is a great idea, and it is, and I didn't think that in the beginning. But when you go through there and you look at it, and when you're coming up River Street, it sure does look a whole lot better, and it really and truly does. And, you know, we need more forward thinking than that. You know, one of the things that I thought was, you know, everything is getting concentrated around River Street, and that's okay for a start, but we need to go all over Ellijay. We need it South Main, we need it Dalton Street, we need it North Main. And I realize that stuff takes time, but a good, strong DDA that works together is nothing but a plus for the city of Ellijay.
Mayor Paul?
And the question again was,
Question was, would you support allocation of extra funds to support the efforts of the DDA on similar to the boardwalk project?
under certain conditions, I would. I'm a big proponent of grants, and I feel like we should apply for grants instead of the city of Ellijay and the DDA using their funds solely to fund projects like that. I think we would be better off to apply for grants anytime we could, and then let the city or the DDA match those grants. So I'm for allocating money. I just might not be for allocating the full amount for a project. Just try to get it through a grant.
We're going to do one more question because we did say that we were going to keep this to 30 minutes for the mayor. So we are going to do one more question, and then since Stephen has asked me to be the moderator and given me a little latitude, I'm going to give each of these gentlemen a minute and a half just to simply tell you why it is that they would like your vote in the next election. Okay? So your final question of the evening will begin with Mayor Hoyle. And Mayor, the question is, would you be in favor of financial support from the city for Gilmore Arts in their Playhouse efforts?
Yes. We've actually budgeted money in next year's budget specifically for that. John Rathbone came to us and asked us to contribute to that. I think it's a wonderful project. I think once completed, it will bring a tremendous amount of people downtown. You will have performances. It's going to be a huge asset for the city of Ellijay, and I think the city of Ellijay should support it in any way they could. I think the citizens should support it by attending the events, obviously, and also help with the fundraisers. But definitely the city should, and as I said, we have already. We budgeted it for next year.
Mr. Davis.
I think it's a great organization that offers so much and so much variety that you can't help but like it and support it. And, you know, any funds that you've got, and it gets back anything that you can do. Now, and I had heard that at one time that they were buying the building right up here beside the college, and and I don't know if that's come to fruition or not. But absolutely anything that the city can do, if people come and they seek your help, then you help everyone. And but the Gilmer, the arts, you know, I noticed what they do, and I think it's great. We need more things like that. we need more people that are interested, not just in the Gilmer Arts, but Ellijay as a whole. And, but yes, do what we can to help everyone.
All right, so we started the evening with you, Mr. Davis. We're going to end the evening with you. In a minute and a half, please tell all these wonderful people who gathered here tonight to listen to both of your perspectives on the city and why it is that the items that we've talked about tonight are important for the upcoming election. Take a minute and a half and tell them why it is that they should vote for you.
I love Ellijay. And I want to see Ellijay do good. We've got the greatest people in the state of Georgia. And there's no reason why we can't be, like what I said, a world-class city that the citizens could be proud of. If you like the way things have been going for the last 10, 15, 20 years, then take your vote. I'm asking for a change. And the reason I'm wanting to change is not to get rid of anybody, but just the vitality that a change will bring. I mean, if you sit and think about it, and Mayor Hull has done a good job. The city council has done a good job. This has been going on now, I think the least one is 17 years. And it's time for a change. I have the desire to do it. I have the will to do it. I have the ability now to give 110% to the development of Ellijay. And that's all that matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mayor Hoyle.
And I agree with pretty much everything Jerry said. We're not at odds about loving the city of Ellijay, and I think all of you do, or you wouldn't be here tonight. I, unlike Jerry, didn't grow up in Ellijay. I grew up in East Town, as we called it back then. I was on the wrong side of the tracks, but I got over here as fast as I could. Have since moved mom and dad. There was very little in East Ellijay at the time. There was one little store and a post office. So we spent all our time in Ellijay. As soon as I was old enough to ride a bicycle, I was in Ellijay every time I could sneak away from home. And I've always loved Ellijay. I've watched it transform over the years from the city center that people still want to see sometimes. Go through the strip mall open where Piggly Wiggly is, and you saw the exodus of businesses. It began to draw your anchor stores out of town and pull them into the strip malls. Then the big box shops came, and then you had a lot of empty storefronts, and then we've slowly saw them fill back up. And it's become more of a tourist destination. But it's still Ellijay, and it's still the place we live and the place we love. And I'm not just saying this about downtown Ellijay. I'm talking about Ellijay as a whole. And even if you want to get in the bigger picture, you talk about we're Gilmer County. We're all Gilmer County. Ellijay's the county seat. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Hoyle. And thank you, Mr. Davis.